does not judge another man's mistakes, and a patient man, he is always willing to wait. Forbearance causes self-possession to work, and you know a kind man, he never knows how to hurt. These are the virtues you want for me. This is the way that I live, and these are the things that I see. My mama, she told me, she said, blow by, blow. Expresses a brotherly love, and devotion is a service to the Almighty One whom you love. With courage we can marshal our very own power, and with precision we become exact, more accurate by the hour. These are the virtues for you and for me. This is the way that I live, and these are the things that I see. My mama, she told me, she said,
here we go, live right here on Foxwaves.com. 9 a.m., you know what time it is. We make your body move, we make your body groove, we make your mind think, we make your body sink into your chair. If you're at work, we know you're doing the jerk. If you're standing up, we know you're doing the twerk. Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, fellas, you know what time it is. We crank the go-go, we crank the slow, we crank the jazz, we like the bobo, we crank it all here on the Peace in the Morning Show. Funky Friday, baby. That's how we do. You know what we do. We got the Queen, we got Delegate Daryl Bonds, we got Darius A. Stanton, and we got you on the Peace in the Morning Show. Funky Friday, baby. Come on, crank it up, Ron. That's right, we got Rapn Ron in the studio, baby. Y'all ready for it? Ladies and gentlemen, for the very first time, got the last, our very own from the national service. You know him as Ron Queen, Rapn Ron. Take it away, baby. Just like that. Yeah.
One of the meanest and the cleanest, and still I'm kinda fiendish when I'm at this. Been doing this for eons, peons best to catch this. Vision of excellence, precise rapping ability. About to make some dead presidents, macking the million G. The money though, it's got people acting funny, yo. As soon as some niggas get some light, they be like dummies, yo. Products and puppets and pawns getting played out. When authentic niggas step up, respect be laid out. Major effect to your sector, I'm the corrector. Live and direct, waving my mic like a scepter. Supreme exalted, universal leader. Descendants of the kings and queens, the overseer, the overlord, cream of the crop, creme de la creme. Spent years building with cats in the streets, so they my men. Again, Gangstar has done it. Remember too much jewels back in the days, you'd have to run it. Check it, the ground be hot under our feet, so we be listening to beats to keep the
night closed down on the earth like great dark rings. Lighted cities in the nights, destination for kings with big dreams. Like Castro, overthrew Batista for Cuba and pointed nukes toward the U.S. About to shoot us for revolution. That's how you gotta move, a lot of rules. Some locked in solitude, cursed the day of their birth, confused. Who's to be praised, the mighty dollar or almighty Allah? I'm like the farmer, planting words, people are seeds. My truth is the soil, help you grow like trees. Made the children come in all colors, change like leaves, behold before you. One of those prophetic MCs with blunted flows, 700 souls in me. Each channeling from past to present time, heaven shines light on those. Innocent to how the world goes, some men become murderers and some girls become hoes, and you accounted for everything that you heard. Do not speak to fools, they scorn the wisdom of your words. My heart is wise, bloodshot eyes, the saga never dies. It's wise, bloodshot eyes, the saga never dies. Ghetto prisoners rise, rise, rise. Ghetto prisoners rise, rise, rise. Ghetto prisoners rise.
We sell crack to our own out the back of our homes. We smell the musk of the dusk and the crack of the dawn. We go through episodes too, like Attack of the Clones. What till we break a back and you hear the crack of the bone. To get by, just to get by, just to get by, just to get by. We commute to computer, spirits stay mute while your ego spread rumors. We survivalists turn to consumers. Just to get by, just to get by, just to get by, just to get by. You ask me why some people gotta live in the trailer, cause like a sailor, I paint a picture with a pen like Norman Mailer. Me and Weller raised 3 daughters all by herself with no help. I think about it strong and I find the strength of myself. These words melt in my mouth, they hot like the jail cell of the South. Before my nigga core bailed me out. To get by, just to get by, just to get by, just to get by. We do it die like best style with the red skies, the window of the red eye, like the lead fly, G-rap shit.
Both have 4 letters, but they're 2 different things altogether. Cause I've liked many ladies in my day, but just like the wind, they've all blown away. See, to love someone, it's an atmosphere that you both still share when one's not there. There's no real way it can be explained. I guess it's the way I feel when I hear your name. It's the little things you do that mean so much. It's the kiss you put into every touch. It's the way I trust you and you trust me. I guess some of us are so lucky. I was known for having the upper hand. I was known as a stone cold ladies man. If it wasn't for you, I'd be that way still. But lately there's a change in y'all live. Though my friends play games and tease me a lot, I know I'm more than happy with what I've got. When I get up in the morning and go to work, see all day long I stay alert till we come home at night and close the door. 2 shit, 1 common core. When I say one love, you can trust me, cause never have I been so lucky. One love, one love. You're lucky just to have just one love. One love, one love. You're lucky just to have just one. One love, one love. You're lucky just to have just one
love. Oh, that's right. Break it on down. We live right here at www.boxwave.com. If you want to see the full show in effect, check us out www.boxwave.com. We're in the studio live with the Peace in the Morning show. That's right, baby. Here we go.
Yeah, you pronounce my name, Ali. Any questions? I bring many blessings with my man High Tech, and he from the Natty. We make the sky crack, feel the fly trap. Get your hands up like a hijack, fists in the air for Ali. Keep them there like natural mystic or smoke when the spliff's lit. It's a revolutionary word. They ask me what I'm writing for. I'm writing to show you what we fighting for. Say Talib and Talib. If it's hard, try spelling it phonetically. If not, then just let it be like Nina Simone. You probably don't listen, B. Even when we suffer losses, I count the victory. Sometimes we're far in between. I'm sad to say you got my brain crowded like sunset on a Saturday. I know my son wept cause his dad's away. Stop crying, be strong for your mama is what I have to say to my little man named Miami. Start the party.
Give me that.
Without God and need here, Allah God, as long as I proceed to civilize the uncivilized. Word and wisdom to the groove from the wise. I guess I'm like the verbalizer from the black and moving black with this Asiatic black man is a dog spelled backwards. Jamaica, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, father civilization, God of the universe. Manifesting thoughts with my infinite styles, making sure this travels 23 million miles. The other 6 I set the crucifix because the heart of the problem is this.
That's right, baby. Here we are live right here at the Peace in the Morning show. Darius A. Stanton with our good brother, Rapn Ron Queen. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you for having me.
No doubt about it. Ron Queen, he fresh off a lot of stuff going on in the good brother's life. Rapn Ron Queen, also Queen Isu the Bay.
Happy to be here, Funky Friday.
That's right. We got our own very own Delegate Daryl Barnes in the studio. What's up, D-Bo?
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Yay, Delegate Barnes. Woo-hoo!
So today, you know, we're focused on pushing our young people to higher heights, taking them to the next level. And we've got some young people we've got some young people that are doing some phenomenal, out of sight, just dynamite things. One young lady that we may be able to have a chance to talk to today, she's not going to be in the studio with us, but she definitely is going to join us. And if nothing else, we're going to acknowledge her. And that young lady is Miss Champagne Hunt L. She is a freshman at North Carolina A&T, which is a party school for sure.
Oh, yeah, they dance.
North Carolina A&T, Agricultural and Technology University, down in North Carolina. Greensboro, I believe it is.
Yeah, I don't even think they can catch up with the alumni.
That's right. That takes a long time to catch up with the partying down there. But this young lady from Annapolis, Maryland, left Annapolis, Maryland as a freshman, went down to North Carolina A&T, and in her very first semester, walked away with straight A's on the dean's list.
Wow.
On the dean's list.
Wow.
Is that powerful?
That's so powerful.
That's amazing.
So-
She was focused. She had her attention on school. She came down there to make a name for herself. I don't know what y'all gonna do, but I'm gonna party with my books.
That's right.
I'm jamming with A's. I'm socializing with my teachers. And I'm laying back with all the things that educate me and make me academically supreme.
There you go.
Walk on them, sister. Nice
Go
of you,
ahead,
Champagne.
freestyle
I
queen.
like that.
Go ahead,
Nice
you know how we
of you,
freestyle on the
Champagne.
Funky Friday first thing in the morning. In addition to that, you know, the young lady came home, and last night, 11 o'clock, she's still at work. So she came right out of school from getting straight A's, comes home, didn't go out partying right away. She went right to work.
Wow.
Work ethic, work ethic, work ethic.
You know, there are a lot of students like that. I'm going to jump down to North Carolina. Got a good girlfriend, C for me by Ali Matua. A lot of people know her as Tamir Gaither. She has a daughter, a lot of brilliant children, but her oldest is Raiki Jasuti. Raiki Jasuti went to Chapel Hill, finishing her last year up at University in North Carolina. But also she traveled to 8 different countries in the summer. She worked, she raised her own money, bought herself a car. Soon as she comes in on break, she goes straight to work, does hair, everything. There are so many young people who are doing powerfully positive things, constructive and productive things, and we need to raise them up. I just want to get a shout out to all these parents who have children doing miraculous things, not just in school, but keeping the house clean, keeping their rooms clean, showing some love to the grandmother, the aunt, going out in the neighborhood and see whose trash they can put in out on Thursday or Tuesday, whatever day it goes. Give them all your support. The time is now.
That's right.
So check it out, you know, the fact that we have so many talented young people, you know, give us a call, 240-719-2560, 240-719-2560, and let us know about your young person or yourself, you know, and the accomplishments that you're making, that you're being able to take your family to the next level. Ron Queen, brother, you just graduated yourself. Did you just walk the stage yourself, man?
Yeah, 2017, man.
Oh, okay. We're gonna bring Ron over in a minute on the mic. But before
We're so
we do that,
excited about Ron.
you know, because Ron just walked the stage, so we want to make sure that people know that he just made that jump himself into a whole nother academic arena. But recognizing the shortage of African-American-owned bookstores, Dr. Mark Lamont Hill opened a bookshop in Germantown, Pennsylvania, which is a predominantly African-American community outside of Philadelphia, or right inside of Philadelphia. Last Monday, hundreds of black-owned bookstores in America just, you know, popped up. The fact that this brother opened up another one was a significant accomplishment, because in order for us to do well academically, we must first become solid readers. And children learn how to read from the womb.
Yes.
So mothers, fathers, read to your children from the womb. And not only read to them, but be intentional about what you read to them.
That's right.
Read to them about the accomplishments of people who look like them, that will allow them to be able to tap in to those names, those spirits, those powers, and all of those accomplishments, because there's so many things that we have done successfully and prominently that may not get communicated depending upon where you send your children to school. So make sure when they come out of the womb, you put them right on that lap, that book, and you are reading. You know, we now have the technology era, so people are having tablets and laptops and phones, and children are playing with these very highly radioactive devices at very early ages when their brains are still being developed. So we want to make sure that we encourage our young people by reading with them, encouraging them, let them follow the words, picture pages, all of those things.
Get the books.
And different languages, so that they're working on learning multiple languages in a world, global society, where now Spanish in 2050, Latino, Spanish-speaking people will be the majority in the United States of America. So English will no longer just be the sole language. So matter as you work your young people into, you know, their transitional phases in terms of scholarship, education, make sure that you integrate language, foreign language, early on. So another thing that we want to touch base on is a big deal right now, the tax bill. And Delegate Barnes, I know that, you know, you are seeing it. The congressman who has definitely been a big supporter of yours, mine, Congressman Van Hollen, or Senator Van Hollen. He was Congressman
Senator
Van
Chris
Hollen.
Van Hollen.
He was delegate, then he went from Congress, now he's in the Senate. Just came out with a very powerful letter to all of his constituents. Share a little bit about what the letter was about. And Delegate Barnes, you know, let us know from your perspective on the state how we can support and address this very important issue of tax reform.
Well, really, Senator Chris Van Hollen is sending out a letter, 4 pages, to all of his constituents, other politicians, and really it encompasses the whole state of Maryland, really the United States. He's talking about what the president and the cabinet of people he has selected has put out, and how his tax bill is going to put a huge damper on middle class, especially, and lower class, what they consider low income people who don't stand a chance. Everyone who owns a home is buying a car, who has any property, anyone who has stocks, bonds, who saved any amount of money, it's going to affect you. People who are millionaires are going to get the biggest tax breaks they've ever gotten in the history of the United States of America. So what can we do? He's given you some options, and he's laying it on the line. You could go to Senator Chris Van Hollen's website, look up his letter, go on Google it today, find out about it, get the information, see where you can turn. What are your alternatives? Write your congressman, write your senator, write your governor, write your House of Delegates, your legislators. But also be diligent in phone calls. Just keep calling. It doesn't matter if the line's busy, keep calling. It has everything to do with our future. It has everything to do with health care. It has that extra money you have for barbershop, going to the movies, carrying your children or your family out on the weekend. That money is not going to be there anymore once a law of this nature passed. So I urge everyone, please, pay attention to Senator Chris Van Hollen's letter of today. If you want it, Darius will send it to you on Facebook so everyone can get a copy of it. And if you want more information, you can talk to his office. Senator Chris Van Hollen is a favorite of mine because I've seen him do a lot of things in the community. He's one of the only, at his time, congressmen who stood up for what we have fought for so long in the black community, and that was reparations. And he was one of the first European politicians I've seen in America to stand up and say that our community deserved reparations. So I really feel like we should get behind him, support him, and anyone in our community, especially our beautiful delegate, Darryl Barnes right here, who's got a lot of information. He's always out there showing people why you need to come together, why you need to go to these meetings, when they're going to put something in your community that you don't want or you want. Go to the hearing. The date is right there in front of your faces. Go to the hearing. Be present. Be diligent. Participate in the process that we are due that changes our lives or not. It's up to us.
So, thank you, Queen. Delegate Barnes, from your perspective, you know, this tax bill that's coming out, how does it affect the folks that are in your district and, you know, and throughout the state of Maryland and the country for that matter?
Well, I think the Queen said it best, that we really need to pay attention to this piece of legislation that they're trying to get through, which is the tax reform bill. Mm-hmm. This is going to affect the everyday common citizen. You know, they're talking about the biggest tax increase that the United States has ever seen. That's a bunch of malarkey, as Joe Biden would say. You know, and especially if you're a small business owner, this really affects you more than anybody else. So we really need to pay attention to it. I agree with her 200%. The best form of action right now is to make those phone calls, is to send those letters, is to let them know that we want tax reform that is best for the middle class. And right now, this tax reform bill does not help us at all. And we're, you know, you may see a savings of some sort right now, but a study have shown 5 years, 10 years from now, we're going to take a hit like no other. And it's going to really hurt us more than the tax reform is right now. It is really going to hurt us. So I would tell everyone, just what Queen said, is to truly pay attention, to truly make your phone calls to your congressmen, your senators, as well as your state legislatures. I think it's really important. But honestly, I think the bill is in jeopardy. You know,
I pray
there were 2 Republicans that actually stood up and said,
absolutely.
Right.
You know, you got a couple of Republicans now saying, hold up, there's some stuff in here that I don't agree with that we really need to take a look at. And now you have a couple of Republicans that are ill. You know, John McCain is in the hospital. I think there's another Republican who's sick. You know, so this bill is not a slam dunk like they thought they were.
Right, like
you
most
know,
of the other legislation.
Right.
Because I don't know any major piece of legislation that he's been able to pass in his first year.
None.
With the control of the House and the Senate.
He hasn't passed any. So the most important part now, while there is some confusion, or if you will, is now is the time that we really put the pressure on to say, hey, let's everybody pay attention. Let's read what's in this bill so we can make those phone calls and let those Republicans that are supportive now change their tune.
And I just want to add to that, Delegate Barnes, is families, it appears like, are being punished for sending their children to school. If you want a better life for your family and your child, and you've taken out loans, or you've worked 2 and 3 jobs to set aside funding for school fees, we are being punished for doing that with this bill. And this is not anywhere near the American way. The American way is to make life better. When people talk about making America great again, these type of things don't make America great, because we are going to have a rise in unemployment. People who get jobs will not be able to retain them. There's going to be a fall in the automobile purchase industry because people are not going to be able to buy those cars like they've been buying.
Well, this is the classic, the haves and the have-not.
Yes.
And this is really, once again, this is Donald Trump's MO, you know, where he is dividing the country.
Right.
You know, he's dividing it with his hate and his rhetoric. He's now dividing it with his money and his power. People really need to pay attention about what's going on. You know, people were excited that Doug Jones won the Congress seat in Alabama.
Right.
But I was really disheartened by the fact that you still had over 500,000 people that voted for Doug Moore.
Right.
Which means there's still a lot of people out there that believes in this hate and rhetoric. You know, so we really have to pay attention as a whole. Yes, the African American vote came out. Yes, the black women came out. And kudos to that.
That's right.
You know, but we still have to pay attention to the fact that you had almost 600,000 people who this guy is a pedophile, a sexual assaulter, almost racist, and they still came out and voted.
Right, 60% of women,
right,
of white women actually voted for him. So, you know, these are, I think the true testament, though, is the fact that people did take that stand, but we must continue. And Delegate Bond, I know you're about to take the stand down in Annapolis, making that shift. So we want to thank you, brother, for being here, Delegate Darrell Barnes. Let's give it up for the brother. Rapn, Ron, crank it up real quick.
Crank it up for me, Ron, before I get
so
on
roll out of here so they see
today is my favorite day. We spoke it up on Friday. We're going to do what we do best on the Kitchen in the Morning Show.
I possess and I don't jest, cause the words I manifest, they will take you to nature. And I will stress upon Jews and these four. You also please your minds and souls, so you can lead yourself to be. I got a real objective here. I am effective here, cause I select a clear method for all, such as I fall and fall and crawl into the pit of purgatory. I go for glory, I'm taking inventory, counting all the tough luck ducks while I narrate, relay and equate, dictate and deviate, cause my fate is to be co-making history. I use sincerity, but I'm so very deep, doubts and questions.
Like somebody that just might love to burn, you know what I'm saying? You see, mama loves both of these children. Hey, you see it's in the blood, y'all. I like both kids are so good to mama. You see, blood's thicker than the mud. It's the family of love.
Yes! Have you ever seen a show with fellas on the mic with 1 minute rhymes that don't come out right? They bite. They never write. That's not polite. Am I lying? No, you're quite right.
All right, good morning. Welcome to the Peace in the Morning Show. Who's calling us on the line right now?
You got Brother Baron Jamal Bell from Annapolis, Maryland on the line.
Brother Jamal Bell. What's up, good brother? How you doing this morning on the Peace in the Morning Show?
I'm doing great, and I hope all our listeners are doing great. And if not, hopefully it'll get better for them soon.
That's right. That's what it's all about. It's going to get better. We appreciate you calling in, brother. I know that music took you back, man, back in the day, cranking it up in College Park and back in Annapolis, Maryland, all the go-go's with your boy Hey Ron and all that crew. Sally, that's right. You know the boys used to be jamming back in the day. Fourth Ward crew.
Yes, sir. Fourth Ward. Those boys, I used to tease them and call them those men as they got older. Those were the days. Bywater Wreck, Robin Wood Wreck.
No doubt. We had Roller Tom. We had Rolo Paul. You know, he was the man. Rolo was his name on the Rollertons. He was the man back in the day on the Rollertons, and he's still doing music today in the studio. Check out Paul Rolo Johnson Jr. on his Facebook page. But brother, you know, we've been dealing with a lot, man, and right now we're shifting our attention to really addressing what's going on in our communities all over the world. You have the situation in Libya and other parts of the country where people are being human trafficked, where people who are leaving their nations due to war or starvation and going to other countries for refuge, and instead of being greeted with peace, love, happiness, food, and shelter, in a lot of cases they're actually being trafficked, taken into slavery, sold on auction blocks. We're seeing it. CNN has done stories on it. All major networks now are looking at this, but underground you're able to see how destructive this is in our communities. But it's not just happening internationally, it's also happening locally. You know, rest in peace, we just lost another brother in the city of Annapolis, one of the twins that participated in our Summer Leadership Academy and Summer Basketball League, Terry Bosley. His twin brother, they turned 17 on the Friday before he was killed, and then on the next day, his birthday, he was killed. And so, you know, Brother Byrne, we've been out there working in the community for years, for decades, and there are other people who are doing it, but we're now bringing us together, and it's a call to action. And that call to action that is coming about, you know, you're putting out there to the community. Tell us what that's all about, man, how important it is for us to bring our collective resources to the table.
Yes, it's very important, and if you think about all of those world atrocities that you just mentioned, the people who are the perpetrators of such violence against humanity are nothing but humans themselves. But the difference is they are human beings that are organized for a nefarious purpose. As long as you have people who are organized and we have those who are not organized, man has proven since his existence on the earth that that type of organization of power can easily be abused. So it is now for us to come together and organize within our communities to take more of a role and responsibility for our own fate. You know, our people are unique in that we were brought to these shores under circumstances to be the laborers or to be labor for others. And in our history, we've always sought help from an outside force, never really within ourselves, because we were unorganized people. We came from organized nations and tribes, but here on these shores, there were people whom you didn't even know. And so, therefore, people were able to manipulate us and keep us manipulated for a long period of time due to our unorganization. So we need to do something about that. We need to come together. We cannot blame the mayors. We cannot blame political officials. We need to look at the man in the mirror and address the situations which are going on directly in our community. And that's what we're trying to do here is to go to the communities, to the neighborhoods, to even the households, if necessary, of the people who need love and help.
Well, just that, like you said, people need that support, but they need to see the presence of men. And that's one of the things that we're calling all men tomorrow morning, 11 a.m., over at Peerless Rins in Eastport and Annapolis. Give us a call at 410-703-1898, 410-703-1898 for more information. You can go to Baron Bell's Facebook page. You can go to the Annapolis Local Organizing Committee Facebook page, or my Darius, Mr. Peace and Love Stanton Facebook page, as well as the Peace in the Morning Show with Darius A. Stanton. And Baron, we have a brother right here on the show today, our brother Rapn Ron, who just recently graduated. We want to give him his props for graduating from Anne Arundel Community College, one of the foremost community colleges in the country, with a degree in media production.
Yes.
So,
yes, sir.
So congratulations, Brother Ron. Brother Ron, what do you think about, the time for us to come together as men? You grew up in the city of Annapolis. Tell us about your story and how you evolved as a man, being young, rapping, hip-hop out there in the community, out there in the street, and how you've evolved, taking care of your family, producing, just taking on a whole new world based on the shift that you made mentally.
Well, basically, growing up in the hood, is limited what you can do. So I found my talents, and there was a lot. Once one door opened, then the next door opened, and I got off track a little bit from growing up in the hood, with the selling the drugs and everything. But then I realized that, this wasn't life, so my passion was, music and filming and entertaining. So I just felt more love doing that, so I transitioned from doing what I was doing to positive. And so many people showed me love, so it's like when you got a lot of support, it really pushes you to do the right thing.
Wow. So you heard that ingredient. The brother said he made a decision to follow his passion. First of all, he found his passion, which is music, entertainment, and the arts. And then after he found his passion, he made the decision to follow his passion. And then he made the decision to incorporate and be involved in his community. But he said he had a lot of support. And Brother Baron, that's what we're talking about. There are young people out there, young men, young women, families, mothers, fathers, who don't know what that next step is. They don't have that love and support that Brother Ron is talking about, and the gap that we're talking about filling as men is bringing that directly into the communities and the streets and the corners, the family homes, the community centers where our young people are, but are not being reached, and people don't know. They don't know that somebody really does love them consistently.
Exactly.
Consistently.
Exactly. And that was the thing that I heard in what Ron said in his personal testimony, is where he found love, that was a positive reinforcement for him. And what we need to understand, Darius, is that love can also be found in a place that's dark and doing things that are negative. But it is the wrong type of love. But wherever love can be found, people are not thinking about positive or negative, they're thinking about love. So we as men indeed must go and step into our communities and show the people in our communities a manly type of love that emanates from a divine place within our collective consciousness.
I just want to interrupt you a second, or intervene rather. Brother, something you just said about being the wrong type of love. I just feel like maybe it's not love at all. When you talk about love, you talk about a depth of camaraderie, support, trust, and pushing a person to be the best person they can be. When you join a gang, when you get involved with recklessness, when you get involved with people who have camaraderie so that they can use you, misdirect you. That's not love. That's the furthest thing from love. That is something else. And that is the confusion that a lot of young people are getting into today. A misrepresentation of love.
Well, I think the point you make is excellent because it's another form of abuse shaped as love.
Exactly.
It's the same thing that we deal with regard to domestic violence. It's masked as love. I care about you. I love you after I beat you up. You know, I care about you. I love you. Or you know, or whatever it is negative. You know, I got your back, so I'm gonna go jump somebody with you. That's my boy. He got my back. No, he wants you to go to jail. You know, he wants to put bad karma on you because now you have people looking for you for the very act that you just committed. So I think that as trumps fake news, fake love. You know, and it's not, don't even associate it with love. Just take it out of it, you know. And I think that one of the greatest things, the greatest opportunities that we have is to put our presence in the midst with our hearts and our spirits as men. And that in itself will propel our young people. They will gravitate to that genuineness, that respect. We demand respect from our brothers, but we're going to demand it by giving it to them. You know, and our sisters, by giving them that respect so they can see that, they can perpetuate that, and now they have something they can plug into and plug into it consistently so that we are consistently providing that love and attention and we're supporting each other so that we model that kind of behavior that we're talking about. And a prime example of that is our good brother, Rapn. Brian, we're going to give us the directions for tomorrow, and then we're going to shift because we got a young lady that's going to give us a call and talk about her accomplishments at North Carolina A&T. So we want to get her on the line before we have that holistic sexual healing and family lifestyles tip from the Queen. Woo! So give us the details for tomorrow, brother. Yeah, so we're going to be meeting at 11 a.m. pronto sharp at Peerless and Eastport. And those from the city know where that is. We're hoping that you bring your ideas, and we're going to try to plug people in for something that's positive. And in this discussion that we've had, unfortunately, the depth of the situation is that when we talk about people going in the right direction, a lot of these young men do not believe their direction is the wrong direction. Being locked up, being in jail now is a rites of passage for them. That's right. As opposed to doing something positive in the community. So that's the types of things that we want to head off and turn our brothers and sisters in the whole community in the right direction. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Do you have a street name? Excuse me, brother, do you have the street name for people who are not familiar with Peerless and want to attend this function who don't know anything about Peerless Inn or where that's located? Do you have a street name or an address for us?
You know what? What's the address for Peerless?
It's Peerless Inns.
Yeah, we have it on the internet.
On 4th Street. So we would definitely make sure we send it out there and post it on our page. We're going to come back with a commercial break, and then we're going to talk to our good sister from Annapolis, Maryland. Thanks so much, brother, for calling us, brother.
Thank you.
Baron Jamal Bell.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
And also, Baron, the classic game, following that, we're going to go together down to Annapolis High School and support a charity basketball game that's coming up at 2 p.m. at Annapolis High School, 2600 Riva Road. Following that game, following that meeting that we're having with the brothers, this game is being coordinated by Derek Matthews of Anne Arundel County and also being sponsored by our very own Kyle Williams, Tunnel Vision. He's doing the jerseys. So shout out to Kyle Williams' family for doing that, supporting and doing what we do. Hold tight. When we come right back, we're going to funk it up and talk a little bit more with Rapn Ron and his new degree in media, and then the Queen with holistic sexual healing and family lifestyles on the Peace in the Morning Show.
Woo!
This is Darius. Stay standing.
Go to the place and one shot. It's fucking ready with a little go-go. We're gonna give you something in the phone so we can reach it in and out, in and out, in and out.
Funky Friday, baby. Here we go. Live right here on VoxWave.com. 9 a.m. You know what time it is. We make your body move. We make your body groove. We make your mind think. We make your body shake. Into your chair and your work. We know you're doing the jerk. If you're standing up, we know you're doing the twerk. Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, fellas, you know what time it is. We crank the go, we crank the slow, we crank the jam, we like the bumbo. We bang it all. You know your release in the morning show. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how we do it. You know what we do. We got the clean. We got Kelly Brown Bond. We got Danny J. We got you. There you go. Hey, we're back live with the Piece of the Morning Show. Here with our good brother Rapn Ron, the queen herself. Rapn Ron, man, congratulations on your most recent degree, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it, brother.
So tell us about, your degree that you just accomplished, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that like, that experience, the whole academic experience going back to school?
I mean, I never thought I would go back to school and get a degree. But, once I stepped out there, it was like, okay.
I gotta do it now.
Yeah, it was kind of rough and it was kind of smooth both, but, I made it happen. And I really studied everything that I liked. So it made it kind of easier, but...
More enjoyable.
Yeah, I dealt with it, So it's about being focused and not giving up, and you got put God first. He'll make sure everything goes correct. So the experience was a life experience.
When you say put God first, did you pray a lot?
Yeah, I prayed a lot, studied the Bible, went to church on a regular, just to stay focused and not get sidetracked.
So tell us about the program, the actual degree that you, and what you learned, throughout the course of your study.
Well, I want to do film. So when I went for media production, I'm like, okay, I'm familiar with everything. So I wanted to learn more about everything. So it was about web design, audio engineering, film editing, what else? Animated.
Oh wow, animation, wow.
Yeah, everything is like, I think the program is kind of more widespread now, like with different stuff.
So you also working on a film, a documentary. You do videos all the time. We might be able to get one of your videos. If not, we will definitely play it on a future show. But you also working on a documentary, a film right now?
Right now.
Tell us about that.
I'm working on 2 documentaries, and I just finished a film script.
Okay.
So my first documentary is a family documentary about my family on my mom's side. And it's about growing up in poverty. My grandmother, she raised her 9 kids in Southern Maryland. So, no electric, no food, and she was doing what she had to do to survive. She had 5 boys and 4 girls. So right now, that documentary is almost done. I interviewed her, all the kids, and I'm working on all the first cousins that experienced, like me, I experienced a little bit of it. Like, no running water. I had to go out back to use the bathroom.
Right.
Stuff like that.
That's Southern Maryland.
So,
that's powerful, but you captured that history, that legacy of your family.
Yeah.
And to be able to tell that story, and so many of our family members don't know the history of our immediate family, let alone, 100 years ago. But just the immediate family, people still don't know that, aren't in touch, the transit nature of what's going on. So that's extremely powerful. Now, the other documentary, what's that about?
Now, the second documentary is about Annapolis, growing up in Annapolis, and our lifestyle, our culture, and just what goes on for us as a black community in the struggle to get ahead. So I had a lot of footage from a long time ago with some recent footage, so that's going to be powerful too.
Right.
And you in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right on. Right on. We appreciate that. That's a beautiful plug, for the work that you're doing. So we just, commend you, brother. Excuse me, for the work that you're doing. And we've been around each other for 25 years, 30 years, so we've been able to see each other grow and mature. So hats off to you again.
Thank you.
Thank the brother for coming on the show. Definitely for cracking with us in the DJ booth. Rapn Ron, Marcel Cobras checking you out. Terry Brown from in town. Hey, listen. So, Mom, holistic sexual healing and family lifestyles. Well, what we got this week? We talking about some powerful. You got two major issues. One is how we happy holiday and move with our food and groove and shift our mindset as well as the food that we eat. And also how we make it peaceful, positive, and loving over those holidays. What are those meals and dishes that we need? What's that all about?
Well, I want to encourage people, first of all, welcome to this part of this segment of the show. I want to encourage families, especially mothers who are cooking or fathers who are cooking, to work towards a vegetarian life. Why do I say that? Because Fukushima is real. The Fukushima, if you look it up, it is in the water, it's in the Pacific, it's in there by the hundreds of pounds of radiation in the water, and it is affecting all sea life, which means for those who eat fish, shrimp, lobster, etc. And water moves. So that water is moving. That motion is contaminating larger and larger areas of the Pacific Ocean and moving out. If you're getting anything from Hawaii, Japan, California, you're going to know there's some serious contamination involved, and that contamination is radioactive. So encourage families to eat less meat because you really don't have farms, you don't have cattle like we used to have back in the day. You don't really know where the meat is coming from. So it's important to get away from fast food places and more involved in home-cooked meals. And home-cooked meals and preparation, all kind of things. Instead of the turkey, you can have stuffed greens, green peppers. You can use your own bread, make everything yourself, the green peppers, the onion, the celery, the garlic, the chive, the cilantro. Also using black wild rice, cook the rice. You can make stuffing out of that. You can make stuffing out of fruits and put inside of your peppers. You can use what we call the bean loaf. Cook the beans on the side, then ground the beans up. Put everything inside there that you want to have and put it in the oven. Smooth it over with your little olive oil, coconut oil, peppers. Some people who are not allergic to nuts, you can put nuts on it. You can make sesame seed loaf with all different types of flavors. If you use curry, if you use cardamom, masala, if you want to have a little Indian flavor. There are so many things you can take what would be a loaf and turn it into a ball, much like you have a falafel. You can stuff the ball. You can make a long tray, what looks like would normally be a meatloaf, and it's a veggie loaf. And you can put everything inside of it that you want. Then you can slice that up and bake that on a plate, on a platter, and put that in the oven or roast it. You can also, don't forget your artichoke.
You can tell she can cook. She make the vegetables sound good.
And boil your artichoke, and after you get it soft enough, put it underneath the roasting area in the roast pan. Saute that with olive oil. Now you can make olive oil taste better than butter. So get away from using butter, animal products, and take your olive oil and simmer it with garlic and onion and a little raisin flavor, and then pour that over your artichoke with some liquid amino to have a little like salt flavor, and stuff that artichoke with all the things that you like to have, what you want to impress your family with, and it's also very tasty and good for you. And roast that and put that on the table. So you have carrots, you want to have some sweet carrots, cook them. When they get cooked, just put the water over the carrot enough. Take a little cauliflower, boil, put that in the blender and makes a cream. Put that cream in with your carrots. Now you can take your orange, sweet orange and tangerine on the side, or pineapple, slice that up. Put that in the blender, pour that over, and put that on a small
Taste it right.
Taste it right. A little cinnamon, nutmeg. Put that in with it. Sprinkle some raisins or fresh dates. Dates always make everything sweet. You want to have some nice punch. You go over to your blender and you chop up your dates, your figs, your yellow raisin, your black raisins, the croissants. Put that in with your pineapple, avocado, a little squeeze of lime. Almond milk. Oh, you have big pitchers of that. Put that in the refrigerator. And if you want to make a dessert out of that, just put it in the freezer.
Come on now.
In a container. There are so many wonderful things that you can have. Your cabbage balls. You can have a broccoli. You can make something they call a piaz, which is your fried beans and kale. Make a little lime and oil grease over it, and put a few little nuts. Take your roasted, what we call mushrooms, which are decomposers. Kill the bacteria in the body. Don't cook them too much. Roasted. Put a little date nut with that. Put them on the side of the plate. So much good food. And what does that have to do with this exercise? Exercises for love? It makes you healthier. And when you're healthy, you can always have a good romantic relationship. And I want to encourage you for things that make relationships good. This is the actual African Holistic Health book right here I have by Dr. Loyola, Africa. And something he has on page 381. In good relationships, very quickly, a relationship is a process. It has to develop. Everything is not going to be the same as it was on the first date. Give people a chance to know you, get a chance to know them. Another thing is it requires a spiritual ritual. You hold hands, you pray together, you meditate together, you positive affirmations. Do something spiritual every time you come together. That's what really helps to build a relationship. If you have someone in the relationship say, well, I don't feel like doing that, well, kind of get the idea that's not your mate.
Oh,
and
wow.
we have a call.
That's right. This might be our dynamic. Good morning. Welcome to the Peace in the Morning show.
Good morning. This is Champagne.
Champagne! We are so glad to hear from you, our good sister. Ladies and gentlemen, for the very first time, let me introduce you to the Peace in the Morning show's guest, our scholar from Annapolis, Maryland, Miss Champagne Hunt Elf. Welcome to the Peace in the Morning show, Champagne.
Thanks for having me.
We are so excited. Listen, you sound just like your mother. You know that. You know who that is, right, Ron? Yeah. So congratulations to you, your family, and just being a star. You know, you came home, you didn't go right out and party, you went right to work.
Yeah.
So tell us about, you know, where you are. Where'd you go to high school, and where are you now in college?
So I went to Annapolis High.
Okay.
Home of the Panthers.
That's right, home of the Panthers. That's right, running Panthers. And then you graduated from Annapolis High with honors, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And you know the great thing about it, you know, we heard Rapn Ron earlier talk about, you know, growing up in Annapolis and you know, hanging out and being in the street, and then he decided, you know what, I'm gonna go back to school. I'm gonna shift my gears. I'm gonna be positive. You at Annapolis High, and Annapolis High has had a lot of challenges over the last few years. You know, there's numbers of the graduation rate for African-American males has dipped below 50%, you know, at times. And so how are you able to go to Annapolis High and still excel and really propel yourself to being an honor roll student and then going into your college career?
I think about it as it's not about where you're from, but it's about how you're trying to make it. If you know that you can see, then you will. I feel as though my mom was a really big support system, but not just being that. If you know your purpose and what your priorities are and what you want in life, then you can do it. Like, nobody else can distract you. They're nothing. They're just something that you can have you high by. If I'm in school, I'll see you when I get out of school.
So the number one ingredient you had was the health and support. The first, you knew that you knew who you are. You know who you are.
Yeah. And I feel so a lot of people don't understand that for themselves. They're trying to follow their leader because they are trying to get into the clique. But if you have self-love for you, then that doesn't even matter.
That's right, self-love, following cliques. And, you know, there's a lot of community beefs and now, you know, different crews popping up in the community. And as you said, you know, people get caught up trying to follow those things, wanting to fit in when, you know, the first fit in has to be fit within your own skin. And so I want to applaud you for fitting in your own skin. Now tell us about your trip down to Greensboro, North Carolina, the party school, very well known for its academics, but they party down in North Carolina A&T. Am I right?
You're right.
But you went down there. What's your major down at North Carolina A&T?
So my major is social work.
Okay. And so you walked away with, was it all A's, A plus, your first semester?
Yes, all A's with a 3.97 GPA on the dean's list.
That's
wow.
powerful. Now, Champagne, I would like to ask you a question. This is Queen Darius's mom. I want to say I applaud you. I applaud your family, but most of all you for your tenacity, your jubilant interest, and your dynamicism in terms of remaining focused and making yourself do things that require discipline. It takes a lot of discipline, first of all, to leave home and go somewhere else and go to school if you've never done that before. In addition to that, you're meeting new people. Can you just give us an idea of what it was like for you when you first got on campus and realized the situation, the culture there, and what kind of decisions did you make to maintain for the rest of the year your average that you came out with this year?
So when I first got on campus, it was hard trying to like social network with people because like people already down there. Everyone's a first timer, so everyone's not really trying to open up. But the school really helps you setting up programs for you to go and introduce yourself to other people. It was just you going out, putting yourself out there, and actually trying to interact with everyone. But as you get around the campus, understanding that you know that the party school is a party every day on campus or somewhere near campus, you just had to understand what is your purpose of going there. Why did you go to school and why did you want to finish? You have to understand that you have to set the priorities. And when you have free time, then you can go and do whatever you want to do. You have to understand that party is going to be there again the next day or the next day after that.
Mm-hmm. And did you have any serious challenges with other students in terms of peers and peer pressure when you were seeking to get these good grades and stay in class and study for tests? What was that like?
Peer pressure, I would say that actually, like, everyone's talking about they're going to this party that's going to be Friday or that Thursday night, and you know that next day you had a class at 8 o'clock in the morning. You're like, wow, I got to miss this. But you're like, hey, I know it's going to be a party or something that Thursday, so I can go to my class and do what I need to do, get all my work done, and then go and enjoy myself that Saturday night.
Oh, that's beautiful. So you pre-scheduled
She
events
organized the brother.
so you could make sure you had social life as well as the academic life. I want to say hoorah.
No doubt. Champagne. Listen, we got to take this shift because we're about to wrap up the show, but thank you so much for calling us. We love to have you in the studio before you go back to school. Tell us what your ultimate goal is so we can let people in the community know how they can support you. What would you like to ultimately do with your career?
Ultimately, I want to do with my career is go get my master's in social work, help get back to the community. But after that, I would love to go back and be a family lawyer.
Excellent. You want to go to law school. Well, we're going to connect you. Have you spoke with our new councilwoman, Shanika Henson?
No, I know who she is, though.
Okay, well, we'll make sure that you meet her. And there's another dynamite lawyer who's here now, but she has offices in different parts of the country. She works with she's the general counsel for the U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce. She's the general counsel for the United States Black Insurance Brokers. Her name is Miss Amy Griffin, and they're dynamic sisters. So those are two lawyers, females, that we will connect you with to make sure they help you along that path. But anybody else, reach out to us on the Peace in the Morning Show. Go to our page, Peace in the Morning Show with Darius A. Stanton. If you have any other leads for Miss Champagne Hunt L., the North Carolina A&T freshman Dean's List recipient. Congratulations, Champagne. Thank you for joining us on the Peace in the Morning Show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Champagne. And one more thing I want to say, if you can, do you have a Facebook page?
No, my mom does.
Oh, great. Then it would be good for you all to just post 10 things you recommend young people do in order to be A students in their freshman year through graduation at any college or university of their choice.
I sure will.
Thank you so much. We love you. Keep it going, baby.
Thank you.
All right, that was. Thank you.
Have a
You have a
wonderful
beautiful
holiday.
day. Peace in the morning.
Peace in the morning.
Thanks so much, Star, for making that happen. You're beautiful, you and your family. The great job that you all did with Champagne. We're going to close out with these holistic sexual healing and family lifestyle tips. Queen, how do we make it over the holiday, making love, making beautiful things happen for our community, our children, our families?
Grow closer. Grow closer. A lot of married couples, dating people, stop holding hands. Start holding hands again. Don't walk in front of your mate. You're the man. She's in the back. She's on the phone. You're on the phone. Hogwash. Come together. Put the phones in your purses. Put the phones away. Get into each other. Get out of the technology. You can't make love to the phone. Telephone love sounds so sweet on the line. No, you need love physical, love spiritual. And these things happen when we are connected. So the connectedness is missing in the relationship, and it sours the holiday. We need to come together, hold hands. Don't forget the love massages, deep tissue massaging. Every chance you get, love is hands-on. Touching the person. Not violently and aggressively, but in a sweet sense. Touching and hugging. Every time the person comes in the house, you haven't seen them all day, went to the store, they went to work. As soon as you see them, wherever it is, hug them. Show that love. Don't wait till, we got people in the house. That's your wife. Mm-hmm. That's your husband.
What about your husband? Hit that
you need that. We need love.
We need love.
And we need love in such a way that it can't wait. You can't put off love. So that's foolishness. Love right now.
There we go.
Love today. Be together. Another thing I would recommend, that if you're young, like high school, college people who are dating now, don't run into a physical relationship. Learn to sit back and see what a person likes, what they dislike. Make sure you take them home for the family to meet them. See if they're comfortable with your family or not. It doesn't matter what kind of home you have. It's your home. It's where you live. It's where you grow up. It's where you're nurtured. It's where your parents come home to, your brothers and your sisters, your aunt, your uncle, your grandmother. So you invite them in.
And
never be ashamed.
Let us see the love in the home.
Yeah, let them see the love.
And go to that home and make sure you know what that love looks like. Because as you told me, before you know and you go there, know that could be the mother or father of your child, grandmother or grandfather of your child. And do you want those grandparents to be raising your children? That is the question you want to ask. And we're asking you on the Peace in the Morning show. So look, as we roll out, thank you so much, Queen, for that beautiful holistic sexual healing and family lifestyle
Hug up
tip.
and kiss.
Hug up, sugar, 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 sugar.
That's my son.
That's
you
right.
know what I mean.
And then Rapn Ron, my brother. So let us know, man, what's it like, closing out, what positive, how can people reach you, first of all, if they want to utilize your services as a disc jockey, your media services, your music, your writer, production, how can they reach out to Rapn Ron Queen?
Well, my Facebook is Ron Queen, RONQUEEN. And from there, you can get in touch with me for anything you need.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go,
Who are
brother.
your parents?
My parents?
Yeah.
Maddie and Eddie.
They look just like Eddie Queen. It just hit me. Dad, that's Eddie Queen's son. Oh, my God. And I know that family.
There we go. Well, look, that's Rapn Ron. This is Darius A. Stanton. We're going to roll out with the peaceful moment. Hey, our time is focused. You heard it. The Queen talked about love more.
Love more.
Love more. If you're in Annapolis, Maryland, or surrounding area, brother, come on out to the Peerless Wrens in Annapolis. We'll send the address on our Facebook page, Peace in the Morning Show with Darius A. Stanton, also Darius, Mr. Peace and Love. We want to thank Rapn Ron. We want to thank Delegate Darrell Barnes for coming on the show, the Queen, our good sister that called in today, Champagne Hunt L, for being a Dean's List student, and there are a number of other students that are out there. Send us your names so we can acknowledge them throughout the week and possibly have them on the show next week as we crank it up on the Peace in the Morning show. And we're going to wrap up with our commercial. We're going to have a little funk. Ron, you going to go over there and do something with us for us. Take your mic off as you make that transition. And we can crank it up, get a crank off of that. You know what time it is. Funky Friday, baby. What's up, Amos? Jack Amos and the Kickball crew. What's up, brother? Hey, Frankie Washington. We looking for you. Hey, check out this commercial. Then we're going to go to our boy Ron.
Fuck that petty shit.
Here we go.
Yeah, we gonna get.
It's a new day. This daddy's producer. Hey, Eddie. What up? I'm in the trap. Mr. MC. I'm so hip-hop. From a boy to a man. Feeling real right now, you know? Yeah. What I'm supposed to do.
Hey, thank y'all so much for joining us.
Real out here,
to the morning show. Send us out with Jared.
Damn, where's hustle went? Cause all this money spent, he living foul like a nigga trying to stop Jordan. I can't imagine this bad that the streets got the best. I guess the sin inside is heating up the flesh. It triggers the brain to do anything. And when you lose hope, that's when you go against the grain. Deeper than cocaine, a habit turned mental. Tricked out the physical, entertaining the devil. Only God left, praying to God on the step. Surrender yourself, cause ain't nothing left. No joke like Mike Epps.
I don't jest, cause the words I manifest, they would take sedation. And I would stress upon Jews and these poor. You also feed your minds and souls, so you can lead yourself. I got a real up check to give. I am effective here, cause I select a clear method for all, such as I fall and fall wrong. Into the pit of purgatory. I go for glory, I'm taking inventory, counting all the tough luck ducks while I narrate. Relay and equate, dictate and debate, cause my fate is to be co-making history.
Yeah. Let's go. Turn it up. Introducing world famous beat.